is the left censoring. You know, the left ACLU types for years and years, decades and decades, they have screamed and yelled to the top of their lungs about censorship going on, how they're against it, and it's against the First Amendment. Well, now are the progressives, the social liberals, are they involved in censoring themselves? We had a case, Ed Vitagliano, he's not a case, he's a person, Abraham Hamilton III, Abe, I want to get to Abe in just a minute, but Ed, these social media giants now have taken on, or taken off Alex Jones, right?
Alex Jones of InfoWars. Not everyone's cup of tea, but what happened was on Monday, Apple, through iTunes, removed his podcast, even though, by the way, Louis Farrakhan has his podcast still up there.
You looked that up,
I looked that up. And then also Facebook removed pages of his material. So what we have here is a situation where
why do they remove him? I mean, he's just a talk show host. He covers things, all kind of sometimes bizarre things, but still, who cares? Why?
Well, they said it was hate speech.
Oh my gosh!
And so it is what a lot of conservatives and Christians are concerned about is the scope of Google, who's not involved in this with Alex Jones yet, but Facebook, YouTube, Google owns YouTube, Apple iTunes, their scope is so large that you begin to wonder, can you enter the public square and be involved in the discussion if these groups decide we're not going to let conservatives or Christians post their material?
So they've censored, by censoring I mean prohibited, Alex Jones, Abe, from these platforms, which are huge. I mean, these are big platforms that people get their messages out on. YouTube, Facebook, what was the other one? I've forgotten, but anyway. Apple iTunes. Yeah. Does Alex Jones have any recourse here, or is these private companies that can ban him if they want to?
Well, to answer your question directly, basically, no. They are private companies. They have the
right.
legal capacity to determine what they will allow and disallow from their platforms. But the question is, and let's just say this clearly, nobody is saying that we support Alex Jones or agree with the stuff he posts, but the reality is the touchstone of the First Amendment is whether you agree or disagree, will you go to the mat for the person's right to express their views. So that being said, it begs the question, if these tech companies who clearly coordinated together, it just so happened they randomly all did it the same day, they clearly coordinated together. If they can do that to squelch Alex Jones's speech, who's next?
Right.
And I think that's the question that we're all left with.
Right. And the left wingers, they define hate. They're very broad with that in the way that they see. You know, they need to restrict hate speech. And you know, for example, if you talk against the LGBTQ agenda, that qualifies you as a hate group. We know the Southern Poverty Law Center has designated groups for hate, being hate groups because of that reason alone. Well, we'll watch and see what happens here, but as Abe said, you ban Alex Jones, who's next, according to the left-wing social media giants. We'll see you next time on Reason and Company.